This week's episode is all about other people's opinions. Are you a mug? Does it really matter what Auntie Sharon thinks? Let's find out. Let's get into it. Just a reminder before we get into things, to follow me on Instagram, Miss Brightside25, and you'll find a link in my bio to sign up to my emails. But don't worry, I won't spam you. I haven't got that much time to write emails. So, let's get into it. Welcome back. I can't believe it. I'm a couple of podcasts in. Woo! So, I thought I'd let you know a sad event has happened this week. It's an absolute terrible time, everybody. I am a millennial, as you would already know I think I've mentioned it anyway. I'm a millennial, and I've had to say rest in peace to something this week, which is, to be honest with you, really devastated me. It's a sad time. And you ask, what have I said rest in peace to this week? Short socks. Now, if you are a fellow millennial, you will know that you were not cool if you had long socks on. You could not see your socks in your trainers. If you've even seen a tiny bit of sock, some people went sockless. Couldn't do that. Too much for me. Don't like the feels of a trainer. You know, you were not cool. You had to tuck your laces in. You had to be down with the kids. As of Saturday, I made the inroad into a long sock, a white long sock. I couldn't afford the Nike ones, so we went with Adidas. Rest in peace to the short socks. Anyway, what are we talking about today? Well, today's topic is all about doing things despite the good opinion of others. Now, if you've listened to my other podcasts, you will know that my wonderful mentor taught me lots of things, and this is one sentence he said to me very early on. Lisa, we have to do things despite the good opinion of others. And I said to him, well, what exactly do you mean by that? And he said, somebody's always going to have an opinion on what you do, where you go, who you go out with, what job you've got, you should do it this way, you should do it that way. And he said, they really don't matter. Unsolicited or unasked for opinions. No, he said. And even if you ask for the opinion, doesn't mean to say you've got to follow it. He said, you've got to go and do things that you want to do, dream big and reach for the stars. And that's what I did within my career. I think especially at the moment, the pressure to fit in, to be the best you can be, to look a certain way, the pressure is on social media. But what you've got to remember is the reality isn't really there. So you'll see this perfect family life it's like the Instagram versus reality thing, isn't it? Like many a time you'll watch a video of this perfect family, whatever, and then they'll show you the actual reality of how long it took to take a photo around the Christmas tree, for example, or while the kids were playing in the park. People always think that they can give an opinion on what you do. No, they absolutely blinking can't. This goes like really well with something that I hear quite regularly, really. My friends say it, some of my family say it, and they go, oh, you're really lucky, or I'm really lucky and that I got that job, or I'm really lucky that happened. And there is sometimes in life where luck comes into things. But I'll always remember somebody saying to me once, oh, you're really lucky you got that position. And I went like, I went home and I thought to myself, lucky? No, I'm not lucky. I blinking grafted. I worked, did my night schools, did everything, did my extra coursework, did a bit of research after work, read some papers, pushed myself. It's like with anybody you see online or in person or there's that what I see as a sweet spot where people will cheer you, lead you when you do something, usually, hopefully. So when you start something off, they'll be like, oh, well done, you're doing amazing. Like, I don't know, somebody started a property business, let's just do that for a minute. And maybe they flipped their first house and somebody's like, that's brilliant, that's brilliant. They've taken massive risks when they've done that. They've had to get loans out and back themselves with the money and done really late nights and grafted. People say, oh, aren't you lucky to have your house? Same with me. I gutted my house. It took me 2 years to do it before I could move in. And I have an absolutely fabulous house and I couldn't do it without my family around me. And the people who came along with the shovels and hammers to make it happen. I'll pop a little picture of me with my Kango hammer, knocking down the chimney breast. But there comes a point where support and cheerleading goes to a bit of jealousy. And people get jealous of what you've got or where you've been or what you have or anything really, or envious about things you do. And this is my reminder to you, their opinions and jealousy does not matter. You live your best life. You do things that you want to do. I can't stand it when people start to get bitter and jealous and you start to go, oh, that Sally hasn't messaged me this week and said, I'll just use myself for example, that she hasn't listened to my podcast, or that Sally hasn't been in touch for a while, she hasn't come up for tea, and every time she comes up she says, oh, this sofa's nice, how much is this, son? And I'm like, it has absolutely nothing to do with you, Sally, how much my settee cost. I work bloody hard for that settee. So this is my whole thing, is somebody will always have an opinion on something you do. And it really frustrates me that I myself do this. I worry about what people think. I think it's in us, and I think we want to be liked. But this is a saying you may have heard that is up there with one of my favourites. If you were everybody's cup of tea, you'd be a mug. You can't be blinking liked by everybody. And sometimes we have to just decide, I don't really care what you think anymore. Because on your deathbed, I know I'm talking about death again, and I know some people find this difficult, but it's true. No one will ever say to you, aren't you really sad the car on down the road didn't like you, Lisa? Or whatever. And I think to myself, no. What matters is who those people are around me, they care about and love me, and will always cheerlead me on. Whether somebody likes you or not really doesn't matter. Because as long as you're happy in the skin you're in and doing what you want to do, nobody else's opinion ever matters. Because, let's be honest, they're not in your shoes. They don't know what you're up to. They don't know what pressures you got in life. So see you later, Sheila. I don't want to know your opinion. Put it in your backpack and off we go. But, in all seriousness, there's always going to be somebody who does or doesn't like what you're doing. And as long as you're content and happy with what you're doing and chasing your dream, like I said, somebody's always going to say, oh, you should be doing it this way. I think a really emotive subject, again, is like weddings or funerals, or like people are like, oh, do I invite her? Or do I invite him? Is Auntie Sharon going to be upset that she's not invited? At this point, I would like to remind you, when did you last see Auntie Sharon? When did she last ask how you are? When is it expensive? Invite who you want to invite and just say to him, sorry, Auntie Sharon, I'm not a millionaire, so you can't come, but I'd love to see you for a cup of tea and a coffee afterwards if you're up for it. And if they don't want to speak to you after that, well, their loss, not yours. Be surrounded by the people you love and do not let the other people's opinions define you. Dream big, reach for the stars, in the words of my mentor and the words of me, and have an absolutely amazing week. Speak soon. Thanks for listening. If you've liked what you've listened to, do you fancy giving me a cheeky review on Podchaser? Or, if there's something you'd like me to discuss, just write a comment under one of my posts on Instagram. Just to finish up, remember, see the positives even in the little things. Have an absolutely amazing week. Chat soon.